Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Swahili ebook before it's gone.
Habari yako?
Mzuri sana.
Mna chakula ama kinywaji kilicho tayari?
Ndiyo. Nikupakulie nini?
Je, mna chai ya maziwa?
La, lakini tunayo kahawa ya maziwa.
Sawa. Nitakuita baadaye. Nipe muda kidogo.
Sawa.
Hamjamboni, mimi ni Medina. Hi everybody, I'm Medina. Welcome to SwahiliPod101.com's Kiswahili kwa dakika tatu, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Swahili. In the last lesson, we learned how to introduce ourselves in Swahili. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use good manners when we thank people. Are you ready? Let's get started. There are several ways to thank someone, but let's start with the easiest. It's just one word. Asante. Asante. As you may have guessed, asante means thank you. When saying thank you very much, you just need to add the word sana. Asante sana. Asante sana. Sana means a lot. So, asante sana is just like saying thank you very much. In the last lesson, we talked about the informal and formal ways of speaking Swahili, but asante will work in both situations, so there's no need to worry. So how do you reply to thank you in Swahili? It's easy. There are two ways of doing it. The main way is to say, karibu. This means you're welcome. Karibu. Literally, this phrase means welcome. The other way to say you're welcome is the expression kamwe. Kamwe. Literally, this phrase means not at all or never mind. You use this when you think that there's no need to be thanked. So it's like saying, don't mention it. So when someone says asante to you, you can simply reply with karibu or kamwe. Now, it's time for Medina's insights. If you're not sure about whether to use asante or asante sana, keeping it simple is always your safest bet. You don't have to worry about formal or informal situations. Asante can be used with just about anyone, anywhere, and at any time. Do you know what habari means? In our next Kiswahili kwa dakika tatu lesson, you'll learn this and other greetings in Swahili. Tuonane! Hamjamboni, mimi ni Medina. Hi everybody, I'm Medina. Welcome to SwahiliPod101.com's Kiswahili kwa dakika tatu, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Swahili. In the last lesson, we learned how to thank people by saying asante. In this lesson, we learned some of the most common greetings used in Kenya. Uko tayari? Are you ready? Tuanze! So let's get started. The most commonly used informal greeting is habari. Habari. Habari means hi or hello. We use it when we meet people. We can use this greeting with friends or relatives, but also with people we don't know. We used this phrase in lesson 1. Do you remember? And do you remember what the formal way of greeting people is? Shikamoo. Shikamoo. Do you also remember that habari can be used both in formal and casual settings? During the evening, we say, habari ya jioni. Habari ya jioni. Jioni is Swahili for evening. So, habari ya jioni means good evening. Habari and habari ya jioni are used when we meet someone, but when we leave, we don't say these greetings again. Instead, when living in both formal and informal situations, Kenyan people say kwaheri. Kwaheri. Kwaheri means goodbye. Finally, in Swahili, we have an expression meaning see you soon that can be considered both formal and informal. Tuonane tena. Tuonane tena. Now you can greet people in many different ways in Swahili. Let's review them all again. When greeting someone in an informal way, remember to say habari. When greeting someone in a formal situation, you say shikamoo. When living in either a formal or informal situation, say tuonane tena. It's easy, isn't it? Now, it's time for Medina's insights. In formal situations, Kenyans commonly greet each other by shaking hands. But if we meet someone we are very friendly with, we hug each other. Don't be afraid to do it with your Kenyan friends. It's normal. In the next lesson, we'll learn the meaning of the phrase, unaongea Kiingereza? Do you already know it? I'll be waiting with the answer in our next Kiswahili kwa dakika 3. Until then, tuonane! Hamjamboni, mimi ni Medina. Hi everybody, I'm Medina. Welcome to SwahiliPod101.com's Kiswahili kwa dakika 3, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Swahili. In the last lesson, we learned the phrase, unaweza ongea Kiingereza? Do you speak English? We also mentioned the word samahani, which means excuse me in Swahili. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use samahani and other words when apologizing in Swahili. We should use samahani in formal situations, such as when we are ordering something in bars or restaurants. For example, samahani, naweza agiza kikombe cha kahawa? Excuse me, could I order a cup of coffee? We can also use it when asking a question. For example, samahani, Mombasa iko wapi? Excuse me, where is Mombasa? Sometimes, we also hear people say just samahani because it can also be used to draw someone's attention. Samahani. Samahani can be used in formal and informal situations. We can use samahani when asking a question or when apologizing. All of these phrases can be used for either excuse me or I am sorry. But if you really want to apologize for something, it might be better to use a different phrase. That phrase is niwie radhi. It means pardon me and can be used in both formal and informal situations. Niwie radhi. First, we have the Swahili word niwie, which means a consideration. Then radhi, meaning pardon. Together, it literally means consider a pardon. But you can think of it like, pardon me. Niwie radhi. Niwie radhi. Now, it's time for Medina's insights. Please remember when you're in Kenya, if you accidentally bump into someone, it's more common to say samahani than niwie radhi. Are you able to count in Swahili? In the next lesson, we will learn the numbers in Swahili from 1 to 10. I'll be waiting for you in our next Swahili kwa dakika 3 lesson. Tuonane! Yeah, welcome everyone. It's Medina again. Welcome to Swahili Pod 101. Today, we are going to look at the top 25 phrases in Swahili. Let's have fun. Jambo. Hello. Okay, the first phrase is jambo. Hello. Jambo. Jambo is one of the most simple greetings in Kenya. Anyone can use it at any time. In fact, we love using it with tourists. Please visit Kenya and just say jambo. Habari za asubuhi. Good morning. Okay, the next phrase is habari za asubuhi. Good morning. Habari za asubuhi. We often wake up tired sometimes in the morning, but it doesn't cost to say habari za asubuhi. Good morning. Habari za mchana. Good afternoon. The next phrase is habari za mchana. Good afternoon. Habari za mchana. You know, in the afternoon when you meet someone, you're like, oh, habari za mchana. Habari means news. So you're trying to ask someone, okay, how is your afternoon? Tell me anything that is happening in your afternoon. Usiku mwema. Good night. Usiku mwema. Good night. Usiku mwema. Good night. Yes, it's time to sleep. I sometimes look forward to that time. And, you know, I look forward to saying good night to my friends or to my family or to my whatever person who is there. Jina lako nani? What's your name? Jina lako nani? What's your name? Jina lako nani? It's an obvious question whenever we meet with people, especially when you want to know who they are. It's polite to know someone's name, right? Do you like being called by your name? Yeah, that's why this phrase is very important. Jina lako nani? Mimi naitwa. Mimi naitwa Medina. My name is Medina. Mimi naitwa Medina. Now, this is actually an answer to the previous question, Jina lako nani? What's your name? Now, you have to keep this in mind that, you know, if you use this word frequently, you'll be able to tell people about your name. You'll be able to tell people your name. Nina furaha kukutana na wewe. Nice to meet you. Nina furaha kukutana na wewe. Nice to meet you. Nina furaha kukutana na wewe. Nice to meet you. I mean, it's really polite. I always feel like energized when someone says, nice to meet you. It can be awkward when someone says, oh, I did not want to meet you, you know, but we rarely hear that. Just use that word, nice to meet you. Habari gani? How are you? Habari gani? How are you? Habari in Swahili means news. And gani means what? So what news? Actually, what you're trying to ask here is like, what do you have? I mean, what is all about your life right now in a polite way, you know? Then someone will say, mzuri, or it's okay. They will not go on telling you whatever is happening all around, but, you know, they'll just say it's fine or not good, you know? So it's an important phrase. Niko salama, asante, na wewe? I am fine, thanks. And you? Niko salama, asante. Fine, thanks. And you? Niko salama, asante means, oh, I'm fine. Literally, that is what it means. I'm fine, thank you. Then you take it back. What about you? You are concerned about the person who is asking you, you know? If you just say, oh, I'm fine, thanks, then you keep quiet, you know? I mean, we do that sometimes, but, you know, sometimes you want to show concern, so you ask, na wewe, and you? Tafadhali, please. Tafadhali, please. It's a magic word all around the world. So tafadhali is one of those words that you want to embrace when you visit Kenya. Tafadhali, whenever you're asking a favor, just say tafadhali. Excuse me, tafadhali, tafadhali. That's one great word you need to remember. Asante, thank you. Asante, thank you. It's also one of the magic words that relates to tafadhali, please. You know, asante is like you're appreciating whatever favor you received from someone who did you a favor. So it's also one of those words you like to embrace whenever and wherever. Karibu, you're welcome. Karibu, you're welcome. Karibu. Karibu is one of the most common words used in Kenya For example, when someone knocks your door, you'll say, oh, karibu. That means come in, or welcome, actually. Then, in some circumstance when someone gives you something, you'll say thank you, right? Now, the person who is giving, you will say karibu. Karibu means welcome. So it can be a joke, but you know what? You can go and ask them, or you can go and ask as many favors as you can, because they said karibu. I mean, that's a joke. You don't have to take it seriously, though. Ndio. Yes. Ndio. Yes. Ndio. Ndio is a response. Whenever someone asks a question, you can say ndio if it's a positive answer, to the question. It depends. There are the yes, no questions. Yeah, that is where it lies. Ndio. Umefika Kenya? Ndio. Umekula chakula? Ndio. Umefika Kenya means, have you arrived in Kenya? You'll say yes, which is ndio. Have you eaten food? Umekula chakula? You'll say ndio, yes. Hapana, no. Hapana, no. Hapana. Hapana is an answer to the yes-no question, just like ndio. Ndio means yes, as we looked at it previously. Now here it's no. Umefika Kenya? Hapana. Have you arrived in Kenya? No. Umekula chakula? Have you eaten food? No. Hapana. Sawa. Okay. Sawa. Okay. Sawa. Okay. Sawa. Sawa is used to acknowledge that you agree to whatever has been said. For example, you can say, sawa, nimeelewa maelezo yako. Okay, I've understood the explanation. Niwie radhi. Excuse me. Niwie radhi. Excuse me. Niwie radhi. This is a very handy word, especially when you want someone to excuse you for something. Niwie radhi. Naweza angalia mzigo wako? Excuse me, can I check your bag? Samahani. I'm sorry. Samahani. I am sorry. Samahani. Samahani is also one of those polite words that you really need to remember. It comes handy when you make a mistake. Samahani, nimechelewa. I'm very sorry that I'm late. Ni saa ngapi? What time is it? Ni saa ngapi? What time is it? Ni saa ngapi? Of course, you'll want to know time. If you cannot see the time, probably there's no wall clock around, or perhaps your phone is off to check, or perhaps you forgot your wristwatch. You'll ask your friend, ni saa ngapi? Msala ni wapi? Where is the restroom? Msalani ni wapi? Where is the restroom? Msalani ni wapi? Now, for real, you may need this word really, especially if nature keeps calling on you. You may want to ask, hey, tafadhali, msalani ni wapi? Excuse me, where is the restroom? Subiri kidogo. Wait a moment. Subiri kidogo. Wait a moment. Subiri kidogo. When you're caught up doing something and someone asks for a favor, you may use this word. Just a moment. Subiri kidogo. Bei ya hii ni nini? How much is this? Bei ya hii ni nini? How much is this? Bei ya hii ni nini? How much is this? Bei ya hii ni nini? Now, he there stands for the thing that you want to buy. For example, you can say, bei ya hii nguo ni nini? How much is this dress? Saidia, help. Saidia, help. Saidia. Saidia! Imagine you're drowning. What will you do? You'll shout, Saidia! Help! When you're in trouble, this word comes in handy. I think you may want to use it. Tuonane baadaye. See you later. Tuonane baadaye. See you later. Tuonane baadaye. After you meet with your friend, you have a chat with her or him, you'll definitely say, bye, see you later, when you're parting. I think it's also one of those polite words that you may want to add to your list. Kwaheri, goodbye. Kwaheri, goodbye. Kwaheri, goodbye. Kwaheri. Now, Kwaheri reminds me of those toughest moments in my life, when I went abroad to study and my family was back in my country. The toughest moments was when we were parting. I will never want to say kwaheri. I will never want to say goodbye. I will never even want to utter it out, but I will just say it with tears rolling down my cheeks. Yeah, kwaheri. It's a good word to use whenever you're parting. Sijui, I don't know. Sijui, I don't know. Sijui. This is a word that you'll use when you acknowledge that for sure you're not sure about the answer to the question or to the situation that is happening at the moment. Some people think it's impolite to say sijui, especially when you're asking for directions. They'll try to give you information which might be wrong to show that they are polite. So you got to be careful. Thank you so much for staying with us until the end of this video. Did you enjoy this video? If you did, do not forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to visit swahilipod101.com. Kwaheri! See you again! It's Medina again. Welcome to Swahili Pod 101 Swahili Top Words. Today, we are going to look at 10 questions you should know. Welcome and have fun. Jina lako ni nani? Jina lako ni nani? What's your name? To answer that, you'll say, Jina langu ni Medina. If you're Juma, you'll say, Jina langu ni Juma. My name is Juma. Uhali gani? Uhali gani? How are you? To answer that, you'll say, Njema, I'm fine. Or fine. Uhali gani, fine. I'm fine. Ulizaliwa wapi? Ulizaliwa wapi? Where are you from? To answer that, I'll give the name of my country. Kenya. Ulizaliwa wapi? Kenya. If you're born in the United States, you'll say, America. Ulizaliwa wapi? America. Siku yako ya kuzaliwa ni lini? Siku yako ya kuzaliwa ni lini? When is your birthday? To answer that, you'll say, siku yangu ya kuzaliwa ni Aprili tarehe 3. My birthday is April 3rd. Unaishi wapi? Unaishi wapi? Where do you live? Ninaishi Nairobi. I live in Nairobi. Nairobi is quite a big place. Actually, it's a province in itself. So you won't say you're living in the whole Nairobi. We have to be specific. So if you live in Lang'ata, you will say, Ninaishi Lang'ata. That is when we will assume you're in Nairobi and you're talking within people in Nairobi. They'll understand where Lang'ata is. But if you're out of Nairobi, you'll say, Naishi Nairobi, Lang'ata, to just be specific. Unafanya kazi wapi? Unafanya kazi wapi? Where do you work? To answer this, you'll say, Jijini Mombasa. Again, Jijini Mombasa. Mombasa is the name of the place. Jijini means town. So if you're working in Kisumu, you'll say, Jijini Kisumu. Just to be specific. I work in Mombasa. I work in Kisumu. Ulijifunza wapi Kiswahili? Ulijifunza wapi Kiswahili? Where did you learn Swahili? For that, you can answer by saying, katika swahilipod101.com. From swahilipod101.com. Je, unapenda chakula cha Kenya? Je, unapenda chakula cha Kenya? Do you like Kenyan food? To answer that, you will say, Ndio, napenda. Yes, I love it. Yes, I like Kenyan food. In Kenya, we have varieties of food, and I'm sure you like it. The most staple food in Kenya is ugali. Ugali is like cornbread. It's made from white flour, white corn flour. It's not very hard. Something like rice, but in the flour form, but cooked. You don't eat the flour, it's cooked. So it's cornbread. Now you eat cornbread with different kinds of stews. You can eat it with bean stew, beef stew, name any kind of stew. And then we also have vegetables. I'm sure you'll like it. Try it out. Umeshawahi kuwa Kenya? Umeshawahi kuwa Kenya? Have you been to Kenya? You can answer this by saying, Hapana, ni mara yangu ya kwanza. No, it's my first time. This is a very common question to tourists who visit Kenya. So be prepared, and it will really sound cool if you can answer in Swahili. Hapana, ni mara yangu ya kwanza. Hii unauza pesa ngapi? Hii unauza pesa ngapi? How much is this? To answer that, you can say, shilingi kumi za Kenya. Kumi is the price. So you can keep changing that and say, shilingi hamsini za Kenya. 50 shillings, Kenya shillings. This will be a very useful phrase to use when you're going shopping. Of course, I'm sure you're going to buy souvenirs for your family members back in your country. So having this word on your fingertips will be very useful. Yeah, we're done! Thank you so much for keeping up with me until the end of this lesson. Do you remember all those questions? They're very handy, and I really recommend that you have them at your fingertips whenever you visit Kenya. Now, if you liked our lesson, do not forget to give us a thumbs up down there and leave your comments. And don't forget to visit swahilipod101.com for more lessons. See you next time. Kwaheri tuonane. Bye.
Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Swahili ebook before it's gone.